Kiss.
It's your boy Mark Smith, also known as Akins, also known as the coolest guy in sports. Back with another Who's Better. This time I have Giannis Antetokounmpo versus Paul George on the menu. In 45 games played, Giannis has averaged 33.2 minutes per game, 26.6 points per game, 57.5 from the field, 19.8 from the three-point line, 12.7 rebounds, 5.8 assists per game, 1.4 blocks per game, 1.4 steals per game, shooting 70.4 from the free throw line, also averaging 4 turnovers per game. Paul George is 48 games, 36 minutes per game, 27.1 points per game, 44.7 from the field, 40.2% from the three-point line, 8.1 rebounds, 4 assists per game, 0.5 blocks, 2.3 steals per game, shooting 83.0 from the free throw line, averaging 2.6 turnovers per game. That being said, who is better between the two? Now, we know Giannis Antetokounmpo is one of the purest talents in the league. He's young. He's getting better each and every season. This is the best we've seen him. He's playing on one of the best teams in the NBA, if not the best team in the NBA right now. We know Giannis Antetokounmpo is a showstopper. He has excellent highlights. We know he's something we never really seen before, the way he glides up the court while taking a fraction of steps. Basically, he can take like 3 steps and get to the rim once he's on the fast break transition. His length is incredible. I don't think he's going to win the MVP award this year because we've seen what James Harden is doing. James Harden is going crazy, but he's still in the race. As of right now, I think it's between him and Paul George competing for that second place spot. Speaking of Paul George, right now, like I said, he's competing for the MVP award, but I think he's going to be the Defensive Player of the Year this season. To me, he's kind of run away with this award while putting up 26 points a night with great efficiency. He's the only player to defend at this level and produce that much on the offensive side other than Kawhi Leonard, but Kawhi Leonard has set a ton this year. George, like I said, is scoring very efficient at all 3 levels, inside, mid-range, and on the three-point line. He's dominating games each and every night in a way we never really seen Paul George do in his prior years in the NBA. He's also distributing better, and he's leading the best defense in the league and doing it at such a way that Westbrook is kind of handing him the keys to the offense and maybe even the keys to the franchise, similar to what Dwayne Wade did with LeBron James. Now, it's still early. Now, I still think Russell Westbrook is the best player overall, but it seems like Westbrook doesn't really mind giving up the keys to the engine the way Paul George has been playing this year. George has been deadly in the clutch. We've seen him have surreal moments in Brooklyn. We've seen him with the shot over Jimmy Butler this season. And as of right now, I think if we're talking about the MVP race, I think it's Harden, I think it's Paul George, and then I think it's Giannis Antetokounmpo. That being said, though, who's better between the two? I got to roll with Paul George over Giannis Antetokounmpo. I'm taking Paul George because I think he's the better two-way player. It's pretty much that simple. We've also seen Paul George do what he's doing in big moments as well. This is his best season in the NBA, and that's even hard to say and really imagine since we've seen that crazy injury that he suffered with the Pacers. But we also seen pre-injury Paul George going against peak LeBron James. But now George is the complete package on not just the offensive side of the ball, but the defensive side of the ball as well. The Greek Freak is more efficient, but he's only more efficient because he really scores at the basket a ton. His playmaking skills are better, but Paul George is no slouch when it comes to passing the ball this season. But like I said, Paul George can score at all 3 levels. He can get to the basket. He can shoot the mid-range. He also can shoot the three-point shot. It's hard for me to roll with Greek Freak when he's very one-dimensional. And I also think that Paul George is a better defender than Greek Freak. Paul George is a lockdown defender, leading the NBA's best defensive team as of right now. And he's also leads the league in steals. He guards the best player on the floor while putting up 26 points per game. When it comes to the playoffs, who would you rather have? A guy that can score anywhere on the court and defend at such a high level, or would you rather have a one-dimensional type of player? That's what you have to ask yourself. Would you rather have a unguardable Paul George or the Greek Freak who really doesn't have any moves on the offensive side of the ball. Paul George has several offensive moves, and he isn't one-dimensional. So you got to give the edge to Paul George over the Greek Freak. I know Giannis has the crazy highlights. I know the media is all big on Giannis Antetokounmpo and his highlights and his crazy dunk packages. But to me, not only is Paul George better, I have Paul George rated higher when it comes to my top 10 players in the NBA over Giannis Antetokounmpo. So that's how I feel. Tell me in the comments below, how do you guys feel? Are you rolling with Paul George or Giannis Antetokounmpo? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out some of the other links in the description. Also, tell me which next Who's Better video you want me to do in the comments, because I will do it. It's your boy, Mike K. Smith, also known as Akins, also known as the coolest guy in sports. Bifo family, if you want to join the movement, basketball fans only, please sub. I'm gone, man. Peace.